why my brother's not allowed on camera anymore. You're right, Pocky. That was from years and years ago when we were doing freak food challenges. We cooked hot dogs and a sweet Kool-Aid. I remember my brother eat chili cheese peeps one time. And they were melting under the hot chili. It was so gross.
That's pretty terrible.
See, and this is why your brother doesn't also talk to you.
So, welcome back to the show. We're here to talk about an amazing event coming on this weekend with one of our favorite people, the Austin Toy Museum. And we have Bad Barry in here. And he's brought some friends with him because tell everyone what's going on this weekend.
This weekend, we're going to have some hip-hop and chiptune with myself, B-Knox, and the Persona, trying to raise it up for the Austin Toy Museum, get people out there and try to promote it and try to check it out another day. We're also trying to hook up our bathroom. We're doing some renovations. We're going to make it look like Castle Grayskull.
Nice.
I'm sold.
Started on the floors. I want to do the whole front end, like you're walking into it, the full throne experience of
But
Castle
if you're
Grayskull.
part of the Skeletors group, you can't go to the bathroom then. So you better do a Snake Mountain version. Right?
Might have to do that.
You have a sorceress in there as a concierge or whatever.
She's holding towels.
Hopefully with the funds that we generate from this show, we can afford that and do that.
So is it a unisex bathroom, or is it going to be for both male and female? Could we get a Shiro side, or?
Oh, the drawbridge should be the baby changing table.
There you
Just
go.
pull it down and put the baby on and be like, yeah, this is epic.
These are all great ideas. We'll have to implement these and talk about them on Saturday.
So let's get to know our nerdcore artists. We're going to start with you. You've been on the show when we first talked about the Austin Toy Museum, and you hooked us up with all sorts of people. We had Doug Funny coming to perform live and all this other fun stuff.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself and what you do and how you got started with it, and then we'll just work our way down.
Cool. Bad Barry, I like to rap about movies and just mainly old school movies from the 80s, some B-rate stuff, cartoons, some comics, video games. I didn't know there was really much of a niche for it at first, and then met a bunch of local cats, like he was saying, Doug Funny, Emmanuel One Up, all from the Dallas area. Just made friends as I went, and we just kind of fall into the same genre, and really works out. Helping a lot with the Austin Toy Museum. It's a lot of stuff I like, a lot of stuff I rap about. So it's been fun since we've been up doing little events. And
Have you done a song about critters yet? Because that
Not
movie was the
Critters.
best.
If I did, it would be Critters 3 Leo.
Leo's first film.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, next up we have.
I'm B-Knox. That's short for Baron Knoxbury, but you look me up. It's B-Knox. I do chiptune and I don't know. I do a lot of different stuff. I got synth pop and I do a little MCN too. Kind of all over the place, but people seem to enjoy the show, so I'm excited to have a gig. I'm not very proactive about getting gigs.
So how did you get into chiptunes?
It goes way back to seeing people playing live sets on a Game Boy online, probably as early as 2000, and tools kept getting better and better and more available online. I made my first track for an NES playback around 2001. Didn't really get into it till about 2005, 2006 when Family Tracker came out.
See, this entire time I thought chiptunes was about the guys who drove motorcycles, that TV show.
Sang the Chip theme song.
Yeah.
And now you know.
And knowing it's half the battle.
Chips
Jojo. And we also have.
I am the Persona. I do electronic hip hop. Just released my first EP. It's a comic book EP. So
It's pretty awesome.
right
It's
here.
a little book, and it's fun.
yeah, it's a so like your old EPs of you have your A side, you have your B side, and then flip to the middle, and you have a download link that would tell you where to get the tracks. And I'm going to be selling that at the event in addition to promoting the museum.
So how did you get into nerdcore?
I just got into music, so long ago. It was really an arbitrary decision. I had no background in music. I played recorder when I was, in elementary
I
school.
think everybody, except me, I can't play a recorder to save my life. That's like the one instrument you should be able to play.
Hot cross bun.
No, I can't even do that. I'm like, yeah, that's all I do.
Yeah,
I thought I was white.
Yeah.
I know. No, that's true.
It was just an arbitrary decision. Like one day I was like, man, I like electronic music. I'm going to go get a drum machine. And I went and bought a drum machine.
And then you decided, hey, let's make some geeky music.
Well, we're gonna be pretty diverse. I mean, you got, my nerdy side being mainly about the references and things that I do. Then you have like an electronic side of everything, and then just chiptune is what brings it all together. I always wanted to have that in one of the shows we did at the museum because we have a lot of vintage consoles and old things like that. So it's kind of like a tribute to like half of the stuff that we have on display. So I think between the three of us, it would be a pretty sweet gig.
Well, one of the things the Persona and I were talking about beforehand was, we had always wanted to do nerdcore stuff on this show, but we couldn't find anybody until we found you, and then everybody's kind of flooded in.
Right.
How do you feel the nerdcore community is evolving over time as it starts to become more mainstream? Do you think it's positive? Do you think they're more open to new ideas and new thoughts and actually getting out there and doing more, or is everyone just kind of doing their own thing?
I think everyone's just doing their own thing, but at the same time, it's still a lot of the stuff that I do, and it's actually seems like the crowd would have pretty good knowledge that rappers like me exist, and they don't. It's still crazy because they'll be like, "Oh, you rap? What do you rap about?" And then I'm like, "Remember that movie, The Gate, with Stephen Dorff?" And they're all like, hopefully they say yes, most of the time no, and then it's all like, well, stuff like that, or like the movie Troll Hunter, or I have a rap about Adventure Time, and they're all like, "You rap about?" It's like, this has been going on. People do this. People rap about what you like,
and no one really knows. They know the main ones, but like I didn't know they were here until you brought them up. I didn't know you were even local. I knew about you. I knew about Badberry. I know about Juice Lee, and I know about some mainstream ones because we ran into we were at a concert at the Parish like however long ago when we ran into you. I was like, "It's my first nerdcore concert. I didn't even know this was really a big thing."
I mean, I know that at like PAX they have huge nerdcore event going on all the time. So, yeah, I know it's a fairly big deal. So, I mean, you guys, do you have anybody as far as the nerdcore stuff you look up to? Like, hey, I can't, who you look up to, or just overall music, who you look up to?
This is a hard.
And then I stumped all the time. We're good.
I mean, one of the things I like most about the nerdcore scene is like how welcoming the scene is. So like I don't feel like there's that much distance between the musicians in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Chiptune is very similar to that too. It's a very open, loving scene.
Because I come from like another hip hop background, and so other scenes there's a lot more. There might be more competition. There might be more stratification between the musicians, and that's just not something that exists in the nerdier genres of music.
Which, we talked about on the show many times. The geek culture and the nerd culture seems to be very accepting of a lot of things. We have like the strongest community, and it's good to know that this extends into the nerdcore side because who is Dan Pete?
Oh, Dan Pete. Yeah, I don't think you've been to a show with Dan, but he actually lives pretty close. I just forgot to tell him about it, but he's one of the first. It actually was part of the first show that I've ever done. It was actually at the Cherrywood Coffee House just over here. And him to me, like as far as nerdcore goes in Austin, he is the guy. Everything he does is just so cool to me, and he still does it, and he's the best. And anytime I want to have him on the show, he's all like, "Oh, there's a show? All right, cool. I wrote it down on my calendar or whatever." So he'll be there. So if I ever do shows, half of them might be just so I can watch Dan P. He puts it on, and I forget it because it's just us three. But also, Dan Pete will be there on Saturday. It's gonna be a great show. B-Knox, their Persona, Badberry, Dan Pete, Austin Toy Museum, 2016 and forever.
Which I want to talk about the Austin Toy Museum as well because that was a long time coming. Like we talked about it years before it was even a thing. I've been over to Caleb's house, and you remember how it was so much fun over there?
Yeah.
Were you there the first time? I was like, "Oh, I had that. And he unrolled the poster, goes, "That's our tagline." I was like, "Oh, that's genius."
Yeah, and at the event, we had a Pokemon Go event on Saturday, and a lot of people was their first time. That's why we're trying to do these little events just to bring people in and check it out.
I'm excited.
And they were actually saying it when I got there, like, "Man, just like, how do you like it?" And they're like, "I'm just saying, like, man, I had that. That white kid up the street had that." We used to play with that. I always wish I had that. I wanted that for Christmas, never got it. And that's what we like about it.
These two have never actually been there before. So how do you prep someone for what they're going to experience at the Austin Toy Museum? Because there's no way I could possibly do it. All I know is there's a giant He-Man display with anything you could possibly want on it.
I'm sneaking in to get a glimpse beforehand. I wanted to make a Pokemon Go event, but I couldn't make it.
I have actually been to the Austin Toy Museum. I describe it like this. Remember what you imagined before you entered Toys R Us for the first time? What you imagined that was going to look like? That's what Austin Toy Museum actually looks like. Just this gigantic explosion of toys, and you're like, yes.
that's what's funny because I was telling B-Knox before while you guys were filming a second ago, and I was saying that he didn't even know there was classic arcades to play. So there's gonna be classic arcades to play while you jam out to B-Knox. That's insane.
Hell
That's
yeah.
Donkey Kong. We have like the cocktail and Miss Pac-Man while you're jamming out to live music, hip hop, electronic, chiptune, nerdcore.
Someone has to play Ninja Turtles. I want to play the Ninja Turtles game because that's one of the greatest 4-player games
Yes.
ever.
Pretty great. Beat 'em up.
Yeah,
We got it.
Classic.
always have to be Raphael because he's the only turtle I like. And you know,
Got that
That's
too.
racist, man.
I have like every Raphael figure made. And that's it. I also have Krangs and Shredders because I love them, but I don't care for the other Ninja Turtles.
Krang's pretty boss. He's one of my favorite villains of all time.
Well, Caleb just made like a life-size Krang, and I was completely enthralled by looking at it. His Krang he made. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it finished, but I've seen the mold and when he started to pour it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So Caleb is amazing at everything he does. Like your Ninja Turtle shell has my fingerprints on it, just so you know,
Oh.
because he had just sculpted it, and I was
Yeah.
touched. Oh, it's still wet. My fingerprints right there. So you have me wherever you go as a Ninja Turtle.
I'll remember that.
You should.
But yes, the Austin Toy Museum, it's a nonprofit, does amazing things. They have classes, and all the dioramas were built by you guys. And when I first went, I didn't know you were building the X Mansion. And you had all the
yeah.
X-Men toys, and below there's
Wow.
like the Danger Room, and there's Cerebro and hallways. I was like, where was this thing hiding? Because I saw the Hoth as it was being built. I saw this other stuff. Where was this? Because that was my favorite one.
Yeah, and that was actually our friends, Carlisle. He put that in the name of his podcast that he does, Punching the Walls of Reality, straight out of Austin. And when he brought that, and because I didn't even see it during the making of,
Yeah.
so when we saw it, we're like, oh no, in the little room, like I like all the little printouts and like the posters they put on the, and that's why I like it, the diorama so much when people put those, those details are what makes the whole thing to me. The way he did the little lab with Beast in there and
Yeah.
stuff, and Wolverine on the table, and that's a great set. And this is the beginning of us being able to bring people in like Carlisle or ourselves, actually spend more time, because most of the dioramas you may have seen if you haven't been in the museum are pretty much traveling dioramas, So we're setting them up. They have to be to where we could set them up. Like we'll go to Dell's Children's Hospital, I remember, with all the Ninja Turtles, and it was just trying to get it up as fast as possible before like all the kids come running in because in the cafeteria for lunch or whatever. And these, we get to take our time. We got some really cool displays donated by was it LBJ Museum or whatever, and they're just awesome custom sets. We have a whole room, so we're going to be switching those out. So if you like it now, you're only going to like it more as it comes on. So next time you come out.
Yeah, it's an absolutely amazing place. And the first thing I asked Caleb's wife was, what's it like not having all this in the house? And she's like, it's really nice, but kind of weird.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, it's pretty good.
So I have to ask you guys a question because I get to ask one question every once in a while. So when you explain to someone like who's not into nerdcore, not into the nerdy stuff, maybe family member, and they're like, "Oh, you do music? What do you do?" Is it hard to explain a little bit? Like, I sing about this, and then they go, is it harder to explain or talk to people about like your music? And
Like, are you the black sheep in the family? You go,
Yeah.
I do nerdcore.
is it weirder for it to explain to
As far as in
people?
my experience or whatever, we don't really go into it. They
Yeah.
just know that Barry does something with the people on the microphone, the music thing, and that's probably as far as they go.
He does things with microphones and music. It's
Yeah,
good.
that's
We're
pretty
fine.
much how it works. Barry's doing the thing with the party and the microphone this weekend, I think. I don't know, and that's why he can't come. That's pretty much as far, as far as it goes.
My parents always ask me, "Are you working on your techno still?" I'm like,
There you go. Yeah.
My parents, everything's still Nintendo. It's like, why are you on the Nintendo system, Dad? It's an Xbox. Whatever it is.
So what about you, dude?
Oh, my dad bought a comic. I don't imagine he ever went to listen to the music, but he did buy a comic,
Well, that's good.
and I appreciate it.
That's good to know that there's also a support system there because, we still get, even though we live in a great society, we're still kind of the outcast, even though we're becoming more mainstream. We did a topic about geek culture and where we're at the other day, and it seems like LARPing is now the outcast. Sorry, Chris Glover, but lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. That's all people see.
Or the
Foam
furries.
swords and furries and stuff like that. But I love the fact that we can all come together and have fun with this, and you're bringing an exposure to people like, I had no dude, you guys even existed. I knew you existed and some other people, but it's like there's a whole culture of great music out there. Music's one of the things that I feel ties everybody together. No matter what you're feeling, no matter what you like, everybody can come together with music. And I like the fact that you lined it up so it's a bunch of different types, so everybody gets to experience like a buffet of badass nerdcore geekery while just losing it over a G.I. Joe display and Jim and the Holograms
All
and
put
Teddy Ruxpin.
together.
Yeah, it's like this whole weird melting pot. And I think the Austin Toy Museum is the perfect place for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect because, well, where does it get played at? I mean, where do you guys perform at? Because I've been there before.
We're gonna. We've actually done. We did a grand opening party, and we had some performers with myself, and we used the second half. There's actually another room.
Oh.
But this time we're gonna do it right in the middle. So you'll be forced. You'll have us forced into your ears the whole time. You're either playing games. We have like scavenger hunts that you can do while you're there, and so we just want to be in the center of the whole thing. Because we just want to be the environment, and so you can check it out. And it's funny when you talk about not knowing anyone. I didn't even know the persona until a couple weeks ago for an after party that was mostly nerdcore there also for the Classic Game Fest, and it was with Doug Funny and a couple other guys. Juice Lee was there also. I didn't know him until then. I know he's been with you guys. And Persona went on and he did the whole ninja rap. Ninja Turtle song. And
that's how he sold you to me, by the way.
And he gave us all like the headbands, and we ran around and we did the dance and pretended that we knew the dance, and everyone loved it. And I was like, "You're gonna do a show for the museum, and we're gonna love it because if anywhere that's gonna work, it's gonna be at the.
You robbed it.
It's here.
All right, so we're almost out of time. So how can everyone find you online?
I can be found at www.thepersonamusic.com or basically any social media / The Persona Music. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, that's it.
All social media. How about you?
Just Google B-Knox, K-N-O-X.
B-Knox!
You'll find my Bandcamp and my SoundCloud.
Like, you should just have that on a keychain sound, so you just like you need your own theme song as you go around, and that's what you need. You just
I do a lot of air horn spam in my set, so
that's hilarious.
Get ready.
You gotta be like, I want to get you
ready.
That's right.
I'll be ready. And what about you?
Barry Comp on Facebook. badberry.bandcamp.com. Catch me at the museum. Catch me at most events they have there. And like I said, we're planning on doing a lot of stuff in the future with more different genres, like I said, electronic hip hop, chiptune, more nerdcore, and hopefully do some more stuff on the show with these guys. So
we'll be out there Saturday. We're gonna be guerrilla filming things and putting a show together about it and just expose them to Austin Toy Museum.
And if you want to dress up like the Ninja Turtles, any character, even Casey Jones, Casey Jones you get extra points. You know? We're gonna Fanboy TV is gonna be out there, so they'll be filming. And if Nerdcore's, if Persona's performing, then it just go great. Any Ninja Turtle cosplayers, even just a mask, bandana, some face paint, old school fair style. It's all appreciated because it's going to be great. We're going to be surrounded by vintage Ninja Turtles while we rap Ninja Turtles, while we look like Ninja Turtles, while we play Ninja Turtles.
I challenge you to give me Ninja Turtles.
And drink the Ninja Turtle?
I play rap, though. So.
There's no
I'll beat you for it. It's been lots of fun. You'll love the Austin Toy Museum. I took my son before you guys did the pre-open. He tried to steal the Manta Ray Ninja Turtle toy out of the sewer.
Oh,
I was like, "You better put that back." But no, you better put that back. He was like, It was hilarious. Kids love it. Adults love it. People have just been going crazy for it. So we'll be out there Saturday. What time does it start?
9 o'clock.
We don't know. We don't have the flyers because you threw them on the floor.
You can come early. It's no big deal.
I'll
be there early, but we'll kickstart at 9. A lot of people don't like to even be anywhere at 9 o'clock, before 9 o'clock. So that's why we do a little bit late. But it's going to go on till late. So anytime you make it, if you can make it there early, I'll be there. But we'll get the music started one way or another by 9 o'clock. So.
BYOB.
And we'll have lots. Is BYOB?
Yeah, we're BYOB. We're also going to do that donate what you like beer type table thing. So if you can't hit up the Cone Stone on the way out there, then we'll have a table set up and you can just donate whatever for beer. So I want to make sure you're having fun. So.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys on Saturday. It'll be lots of fun. Thanks for coming out to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Maybe at some point in time we get you guys to come perform because we've always got all sorts of fun things. But next week we do have a surprise show, which is still in planning. We don't want to tell you about. Plus, after this is Adventures in LARPing. Then we have a brand new Eddie Rotten Zombie Life TV at 9:30. It's going to be lots of fun. He's got new set. Red Rum is in full form tonight, so be prepared. It's going to be awesome. And the website will be back up this weekend. I've got all the pictures ready to go. But like I said, it's been a technical monster to get this thing ready to go because we're switching from a blog to a more showcase site. And everything that's happening is just amazing. So stay tuned for all the fun things. Any last minute shout outs, everybody? No Twitch because we're not talking about streaming today.
Go on to B.
B-Knox to Persona Bad Berry.
We'll see you guys next week. Have fun.
Yeah.
I would be the sniper in the back, making sure you all died and I could get the loot myself. That's
Well, that's what
me.
I'm saying. Like, you and I would just be in the back going, let them kill themselves. Okay, now finish off the rest. Let's go clean up.